Hi,
Do you remember when we first met?
I do.
Tell me what you remember the most. I have very clear memories, but why don't you tell me what you remember the most?
I remember meeting you in the GOGI campus, and I wasn't too friendly at that time. I kind of just stood in the background after you came a couple of times, and I slowly worked my way to you, and you looked at me and you said hello, and I said hello. When I first met Coach Taylor in the GOGI campus, I was still unfolding, my choice and my decision to what I really wanted to do with my newfound identity of trying to be a sober woman. I didn't get very close to Coach. I only saw her from a distance because I was still in the process of figuring out, can I trust this? Can I trust her? Can I trust me? So it took several times after seeing Coach that I started to work my way close to her. And she knew everything that was going on in her module. But the closer I got to her one day, she said, hello, what's your name? And I told her Maria. She says, well, welcome, Maria, to the GOGI campus. And I just felt in my soul that she was real. She had no bad intentions. She was going to help me. And she did.
Thinking about it now, you had been released from a jail facility. And then I said, come back on Saturdays and be trained to be a coach. And there you were driving up to that same exact facility. What was that like?
That was very interesting because as I'm driving down the 710 freeway towards the jail, I'm literally asking myself, what are you doing? What are you doing going back to the jail? You just got out of there.
Right.
But I knew that I wanted to keep the connection with GOGI and keep the connection with you because I truly believed and knew in my heart of hearts that was going to be my way to internal freedom. GOGI did the trick for me. GOGI turned on that light bulb. And you know how when you click the light bulb with the string?
Yeah.
Well, GOGI clicked it on and the string broke.
Yeah, that string it's been on ever since. I love it.
I couldn't shut it off anymore, even if I wanted to. The GOGI Life Tools have impacted my life tremendously. I use them on a daily basis, but because I use them on a daily basis, they've become a part of me now. So it's a great thing. They've impacted my life positively to allow me to move forward and always stay in charge of what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and the words that I'm speaking. I don't always get it right, but I know that I can try again. My favorite tool is Boss of My Brain because it has taught me and allowed me how to create the space in my mind that I need to make the right decisions. You have your smart part, you have your emotional part, and you have your old habit part. Which part are you using? It's a question I have to ask myself when I feel myself going into the emotional part or the old habit part. I have to remind myself, what part am I in right now? And I gotta always bring myself back to the smart part. And the smart part is where it's calm, there's space, and it's easy for me to make the right decisions. I use the tools in my daily life to bring awareness to what I'm thinking. When I didn't have the tools in my life, there was not too much awareness. So by using the tools, I'm able to identify, hey, wait a minute, my thought process is not going in the right direction right now. I gotta get back to where it is in the right direction, and that's a smart part of my brain. If I didn't have the GOGI Life Tools, I would imagine that I probably wouldn't have been so successful as quickly as I have been. I maybe more than likely would have still been caught up in a bad way of thinking and a bad way of life, making poor decisions. I would recommend the GOGI Life Tools to everybody. You can use them for whatever life situation you're in. If you're a positive person, you can still use it to enhance your positivity. If you're in an addiction or if you're in a bad relationship, you can use those tools to self-discover who you are and how to get out of those situations. So I would definitely share them with everybody I met, which I do. Even though I didn't talk to my sister very often, I guess in my heart and spirit, I knew she would always be there for me.
Hi, I'm Deborah Flores. I'm Maria Fierro's big sister.
What I remember about my sister Deborah growing up was she was so beautiful, and she was so nice to me. She was very kind. She treated me good. She looked out for me. I felt loved.
A lot of things that she went through, I didn't even know. Put it that way. I didn't know all this stuff that was happening to her because, you don't go telling people that, which you should, but you don't. And I really didn't realize how intense it was.
I was in my addiction when I didn't see her, and the shame and the guilt overwhelmed me. It made me hide.
I hadn't heard from her for years. Didn't know where she was, anything. And then she calls me and asks me for forgiveness. And I say, well, why would I forgive you for what? Why? You don't need to ask me for forgiveness. We're family. I'm glad you reached out to me and looked for me, And then from that time on, we developed a relationship.
I didn't feel that there was a gap. She just was approachable. She welcomed me. She was happy to hear from me.
She was my sister. I don't care what happened in the past, what happened from that day on. It's your family. It's your sister. She would have done the same for me.
My sister supported me through my addiction and through my recovery and sobriety by being available, by being there. If I called her and she didn't answer, she'd call me right back. If I wrote to her, she wrote to me. She wrote to me a lot more than I wrote to her. She always had that welcoming voice, are you okay? You need anything? And if I did need anything, I would surely get it, because she never held back on anything that I ever needed. And mostly what I needed was my family.
By her being in jail and already having that GOGI program, to me, I'm thinking they helped her realize, go reach out to your family. They're gonna forgive you. They're not gonna judge you. That kind of put that in her head. GOGI is giving people hope. Like just because you've been in jail or you're a drug addict, that you're not a loser, that there's still hope for you. You have a life still, even if it might be 5 years or 20 years, you can change your life and know that people are out there to help you along the way.
My name is Coach Maria, and I am a face of GOGI.